Good morning and welcome to Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA-Recognized Tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers of Rockport, Maine, and the New England Roller Derby Report. Our next game features Green Mountain Roller Derby versus Mass Attack Roller Derby. It's a New England playoff here right now. I am Chad. I'm joined here by B. B, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to this game early in the morning, ready to go.
Yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's tuning in. You're watching a WFTDA tournament. There's a few of them on this weekend. Thanks for joining us. We're going to start out. We've got number 20 for Green Mountain. That's Seroquel. We saw a lot of Seroquel this weekend.
Yep.
And over on the Mass Attack side,
it's hard to see here.
Hard to see, but it looks like we are going to have, well, she's got a track cut. We'll find out when she skates around to the box.
Yes. A track cut on number 80 for Mass Attack.
Oh, Carnage Patch Kid.
Carnage Patch Kid.
You and I will probably both confuse that one today.
Yes, and on both of these rosters, there is a Carnage Patch Kid and a Savage Patch Kid.
Oh, that's perfect.
Not confusing in the least.
I love when that happens.
So let's see. We have the Green Mountain Roller Derby Jammer being recycled to the back of the pack by Mass Attack, but sneaking through on the inside.
Oh, we've got... Yeah. All right. We're just working on our visuals here. Slightly better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, B, why don't you switch spots with me?
Or I can stand up.
Yeah, we could do that too. Stretch our legs this morning.
I'm a shorty. So let's see. Even with a power jam, I'm seeing that nobody scored any points in that jam.
Yeah, that's great. I think
it's great for Mass Attack.
Great for Mass Attack, and we start out with maybe two evenly matched teams this morning.
On the line right now for Mass Attack is Android, and that is Savage Patch Kid for Green Mountain. Savage Patch doing some toe stop work there. Android kind of fighting through a tough three wall of Green Mountain.
Yeah, and it's Savage who's out. So after both of these teams have played two very difficult games this weekend, how tired are they this morning?
Really tired. So when you talk about tournament play, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So all of their bodies are feeling it. Savage Patch Kid looks to her bench, asks what she should do, and calls it off with 5 points.
So Green Mountain scores first today.
Yes.
Mass Attack will put Swifty on the line alongside Vajikel Jackson.
Two of my favorite names in the tournament, I have to say. Vajikel Jackson and Impaler Swift. Really wonderful roller derby names.
It's a nice, we've got a nice musical duo on the line.
Who will win?
Boy, Vajikel almost had it on the inside, but it was a great work by Mass Attack to envelop her on that inside line. Finally now she is through. But also Swifty right behind her.
Right behind her, and she's looking around. She knows she's right behind her, looking to her bench to see, am I going to try and hit it and quit it? Yes, I am. But did Mass get any points? No, they did not.
No, it looked like there almost was one available point at the back of that pack, but not able to move the hips past.
So Green Mountain scoring 3 on that, bringing them up to 8. Mass Attack still not on the board yet. But I'm sure Carnage Patch Kid, who's on the line right now, is going to try her best to change that.
Yeah, and Carnage Patch Kid is going to go up against Snatch McCracken. We saw Snatch jam a few times this weekend, but not typically so early in the bout.
Oh.
And looks like that was, did we get a back block on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a back block on Snatch McCracken, which gives a power jam to Mass Attack, which is just what they need right now. With
only 8 points ahead of them, certainly doable to catch that up pretty quick.
Yep, and Carnage Patch Kid is out and lead up against a full Green Mountain wall. She's going to push them forward, getting a little bit of help from one of her blockers, number 34, I believe.
Yeah, it's in Raging Grace. And Raging Grace is a long-time Mass Attack skater.
And here is the Green Mountain Jammer back in and through on her initial pass. Carnage Patch Kid is going to look over to her bench.
She'll attempt, it looks like maybe this 1 point, and then she'll call it. She'll go for, she'll just go for the 1, but did she get it? She got a couple points, but Green Mountain robbed 3 at the same time.
And I noticed this yesterday with Mass Attack. They like to gamble on that longer
They did
jam.
that. They certainly did that. They did that a lot, and it worked well for them right up until the last game where they had maybe 10 minutes left in the game. Maybe not as conservative a play in that last 10 minutes as they could have.
We'll see if they use that as a learning opportunity here today. But they obviously ran that one a little bit longer maybe than I would have. We'll see. That is Android, declared lead jammer for Mass Attack Roller Derby. Going to hit the back of the pack. Do a little bit of dance in there.
Yeah, she called it off. Android did a little bit later. She did get the full 4 points.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing any points being held up for Green Mountain.
No. And she got those full 4 points basically by moving laterally on the track, which was incredible. Just using the curve of the track to get past all of those hips. Really impressive.
So official timeout.
Just I think they might be talking about points there.
Yeah, I would think so too. It looked like Green Mountain could have had a couple, but maybe they're going to review as well whether or not that was a full 4 by Mass Attack.
Yes, could be. Like I said, it was very lateral movement. And these officials, they do such a great job really making sure that they're getting everything right.
And it's been great to see a lot of conferencing with the outside pack ref before putting those points up in the air to just double check. Yeah, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and we'll run down through the full rosters on Mass Attack. 0, Troubles Braids. 10, Goldie Gloves. 11, Guillotina. 13, Pixie Sticks. 141, Bloodbath Betty. 18 is D-Block. 223 is Pepper Machete. 341, Enraging Grace. 39, Valkyrie. 4, Android. 414, Torpedo. 419 is Killbot. 421, Impaler Swift. 7, Death by Sugar. And number 80 is Carnage Patch Kid.
And in black for Green Mountain Roller Derby, the Grade A Fancy, we have 19, Beast Infection. 20, Seroquil XR. 207, Savage Patch Kid. 23, Fox. 29, Poison Apple. 30, Rad Rover. 32, Curb Stomp. 369, Snatch McCracken. Number 4, Cryptic Kablam. 44, Maulin Mule Kick. 4482 is Trasher. 701, Vajikel Jackson. 56, Folsom Bruise. That's 76, Folsom Bruise. 887, Clitorisk.
Yes, Clitorisk.
And number 9, Busty Breaker.
Now we have a Savage Patch Kid and a Carnage Patch Kid. In Portland, we have Cabbage Smash Kid.
It plays for MRD, Maine Roller Derby, yep. Vajikel Jackson, in the meantime, secures lead for Green Mountain and is approaching the pack on a scoring pass.
Yeah, we had a star stash. Lots of time for Jackson to make it through here.
I have to say, Vajikel Jackson is not only one of my favorite names, but also a really fun skater to watch.
Yeah, fantastic skater, and over the weekend has put on quite a show.
Very strong personality there. It looks to be a tie score, 11-11.
I saw a 4 being held up there for Jackson, but...
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, there we go.
So it is a 4-point game, 15 points for Green Mountain Roller Derby and 11 for Mass Attack.
A big spill. And almost lost the star, but it hung on to the edge of the helmet.
So I'm a little...
That is Carnage Patch Kid.
I understand now a little bit more what happened. I saw Vajikel Jackson sort of shaking her head, and it looks like she is starting in the box.
She's starting in the box, so she picked up a penalty at the very end.
So got the 4 points, but also started in the box here. So Mass Attack is on a power jam and a scoring pass. Carnage Patch Kid takes a hard fall on the outside there. Vajikel Jackson uses the confusion to scoot
absolutely.
through.
Found a lot of space there on the inside. And it will get called off. I think Jackson's going to get 2 points here out of that one.
She got
like
three. Box
Excellent
point,
work.
maybe. That was a nice hustle there by Vajikel Jackson to score points.
Green Mountain will retain the lead, 18-15.
Just trading points here.
Android on the line, and we have 32 from Green Mountain. That's curb stomp. We'll see a lot of curb stomp, both jamming and defensively, all around.
And right now, defensively jamming.
Exactly, doing both.
So
Android,
curb stomp,
outside, lots of space. Not very often you see that much space left by the Green Mountain defense. Android, I'm sure, thanking her lucky stars for that kind of an opportunity.
Correct, and the pack is moving quite fast, which jammers tend to like a fast-moving pack.
So that was called short on 4 safe points. So maybe Mass Attack changing the strategy just a little bit compared to what we saw yesterday.
And guess what? There is our first lead change here, I think. We've got 19 for Mass Attack Roller Derby with those 4 points and 18 for Green Mountain.
Impaler Swift and Savage Patch Kid, Carnage Patch. Savage.
That one's Savage.
Jeez.
And Savage wears number 207. I believe Savage Patch Kid is from Maine,
Yeah.
and that's the area code in Maine. Ooh, looked like an elbow to the face on Impaler Swift, but she just keeps going, taking it really safe and recycling herself to the outside to make sure she doesn't get a track cut. The pack is spread out, which leaves room for Savage Patch Kid to secure lead here for Green Mountain Roller Derby. Oof.
Coming into the backstretch now, getting through her own blockers. Spin move on the outside, gets a little bit of a bump.
Meanwhile, Folsom Bruise just brutally hits Impaler Swift out of bounds and pulls her back. It looks like there has been a panty pass or a helmet cover swap.
Valkyrie has that star now. Won't get to use it, though.
It'll be interesting to see how much the star pass is used in this game.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, seen a whole lot of the star stash and the immediate star pass once not getting that lead jammer. I don't think it's fooling anyone.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's almost just expected now. Probably would fool people more if you didn't try to go for the cover removal.
Yes. Go back to the old school. So it looks like Vajikel Jackson is going to exploit the chaos there off the line. And
we still have that chaos hasn't stopped now. It's only everyone back up on their skates now, and I don't know if the floor's crooked now or what. Overnight, it's almost like the building's leaning in one direction here.
Well, I have to tell you, I did sweep that whole floor this morning, and so maybe I did too good of a job. But also, I think that this is what we see when muscles are fatigued, and you've played 2 days of roller derby. You just can't do the same things always. Android, a familiar jammer for Mass Attack.
Looks like we've got curb stomp.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big shoulder from that's 29. Poison Apple. Poison Apple, just an absolute joy to watch play defense. She's always where she needs to be, and very correctly aggressive, I guess I would say.
Yeah, this is a tough wall for Android to go up against, and is not getting much help because she only has two friendly blockers on the track that are more focused on stopping. Curb Stomp, who does a nice duck move on the outside, cuts to the in, and is through for another 5 points. This is a big jam for Green Mountain.
It really is. This is the first time that they've been able to put a big separation in.
Curb Stomp. Hands on knees. Taking it easy. Knows that Android is still stuck in the pack, unfortunately. That is a really heads-up play there by Green Mountain. They saw the star pass coming and hit that person out of bounds.
Yeah.
Really a smart thing to do when you see that star pass, because it makes it potentially illegal. And who has the star now for Mass Attack? That is number 34, I think. Nope, 341. I did see the 3 and the 4.
So 3 4, yeah, Enraging Grace.
I think that's going to be a 14-point jam.
Yes.
That opens it up.
We'll go all the way to 18.
Oh, man. 49-19. So that increased Green Mountain's lead by 30 points. It didn't increase it by 30 points. It increased it to 30 points.
Snatch McCracken and Impaler Swift on the line.
I do wonder if we're seeing more of Snatch McCracken just because it is late in the tournament weekend.
I think that's probably the case. Only 2 blockers on the track for Mass Attack, but Taylor Swift still able to use that extra real estate on the track to her advantage. She is our lead jammer. McCracken not too far behind.
No, really sweet
Swift
move.
gonna play the longer game here, though.
Yep, and we've seen this a lot from Mass Attack this weekend. We've seen them really wanting to trust their blockers to continue to hold jammers back, and this is actually a pretty smart move because Green Mountain only has 1.
Yeah, there was a lot of points tied up in the box, and it's called off in time. That's gonna freeze at least 2 blockers in the box.
So Mass Attack will start with a blocker advantage of 4-2. Vajikel Jackson is going to be jamming for Green Mountain, and Carnage Patch Kid for Mass Attack.
See if Jackson does her own blocking here as well to try to slow down.
Yep.
Carnage.
She tries to fall low Carnage, and number 30. Big hit from Rad Rover on Green Mountain, but Carnage Patch Kid is able to shrug it off and is your lead jammer.
Well, Mass Attack, nice job holding off Vajikel Jackson for 20 seconds. That 20 seconds seems like an eternity sometimes.
And I think this is a smart move for Mass Attack. They call it. They're not going to risk running that long on Vajikel Jackson, I don't think.
Yeah, because if things go wrong, if you pick up a penalty there with your jammer, you don't want Vajikel Jackson to have a full 30 seconds of run time.
Definitely not.
I think instead of making, there's potential there for more than just 2 passes. Jackson can get a 3rd one in there without
really fast, yes. Android, number 4 on the line for Mass Attack, and Savage Patch Kid, number 207 for Green Mountain, and this is a little bit of a run for Mass Attack.
Yeah, this is I think this is the 3rd in a row here, and Android will meet up with a pack here coming into turn 1.
Nice little duck move. Let's see.
Yeah, she'll call it off. I think she'll pick up a couple of points there. If she got them before she was spun out on the...
I think at least 2 if I could.
Yeah, looks like 1 point.
I think that the jam ref was conferring with the outside pack ref, which is always good to see actually whose hips were passed. Right. Oh, I like seeing Mullen Mule Kick jam. I think this is the first time tonight.
First time today, yeah.
Or it's not tonight. It is early in the morning.
It's not yet, but it will be soon enough.
And that's Carnage Patch. No, I'm sorry. That is Impale Her Swift. Mass Attack using a pretty tight jammer rotation here.
And you see Snatch McCracken out there blocking. And has been all over Swifty, stuck like flypaper. And now maybe she's going to get through.
So that's the 4th lead jam status for Mass Attack in a row. I call those momentum jams, even if you're not scoring a lot of points.
Mass Attack was able to do that yesterday, too. They would maybe not do as great in the first quarter of the game, but then the second quarter turned it on pretty good. And we're seeing that today for sure.
And you know what, in an early morning game like this, it does take you a little while to get your legs underneath you. For probably everyone, actually. Mule Kick is able to really fight.
Oh, and a track cut called on Mule Kick.
Okay, so they didn't realize that Mule Kick was headed to the box before asking Impaler Swift to call it. But you know what? That's not a terrible thing. They're going to start with a full 30 seconds.
Yeah. Power
jam for Carnage Patch Kid.
And 1 blocker in the box as well.
That's right.
So this is you talked about momentum, and this is adding a little bit more speed to the flywheel here.
Yeah.
Lots of space on the outside.
And Green Mountain should have known that was coming, but that number 20 just actually doing all the work there for Green Mountain Roller Derby. That's Seroquil XR. However, Carnage Patch Kid does secure lead. I would say that they ate about 15 seconds off of that.
That was a pretty decent penalty kill. We're just seeing now both Green Mountain skaters are standing in the box.
I think that's 5 more for Mass Attack. And Mullen Mule Kick is back in and through real quick.
Yeah, so we'll see if there's a hit it and quit it here.
Yep, and Mass Attack certainly, it seems like, has adjusted their strategy in order to do these hit it and quit it's to slowly creep back.
Yep, and I think there's so much time in the game left that, you know, to try to come back to this with 4 or 5 at a time, I think that's a sound strategy. As long as the defense can still keep Green Mountain at bay.
Yep.
One thing I think they can't do is they can't forget they've had a couple of lucky breaks here with some penalties, and you're not always going to get those.
Nope, you're not. I think that, you know, what Mass Attack had been doing for the weekend was trying to get those multiple passes, and so it'll be really interesting to see how they play the short game. I'm not sure. It looks like it's just a team timeout here for Green Mountain.
Green Mountain, yeah. And they, I don't see a lot of conferencing going on, so I don't know if it was just a
rest.
Just a rest, maybe use that timeout to try to take a little bit of the momentum out of Mass Attack's
That's right.
game.
That's right. Timeouts, you know, in sports are often used to sort of stop a run. And that may very well be what Green Mountain was doing right there. We've got Vajikel Jackson for Green Mountain and Android for Mass Attack. Both of them trying to squeeze through. And it looks like Android is going to keep that momentum with Mass Attack here.
Yeah, I didn't think that she would be able to get out first. But what happened is we did see a Green Mountain skater go to the box. It looks like we actually saw a Savage Patch Kid down in the box.
And that is a grand slam here for Android. And Vajikel Jackson is still just struggling through that Mass Attack pack. Android is not struggling, however, through that Green Mountain and is going to get another 4 on the board.
That's an excellent run, and kudos to the defense here on Mass Attack to be able to hold Vajikel Jackson back for the entirety of that jam nearly. In one entire lap, Vajikel Jackson was pushing against that wall.
Yeah, it was really strong defense, and you know, as somebody who jams from time to time, getting recycled back over and over is just never what you want to have happen. So we are at 3 points. That is how fast things can change in roller derby. 53 for Green Mountain Roller Derby and 50 for Mass Attack with about 9.5 minutes left in this half.
We see Torpedo and Swift having a little bit of a conversation down there, perhaps talking about what the strategy might be here.
Yep, and it's an official review for waiting for that signal. It's an official review for Green Mountain. I would guess that they're going to try to get some sort of a jammer penalty on Mass Attack. I'm unsure what it would be.
Yeah, I have not. It's an official review.
It is an official
it's
review.
An official review, but I don't see anyone talking to the officials.
So it may be wondering if there had been a track cut. There are very specific rules about straddling the line and calling it off. So it'll be interesting to hear what the officials say. So
we'll see if we can get the information here as Scooby Drew confers with the Green Mountain team.
We are going to find out shortly what exactly the official review was.
Did go across the line for those attack jammers, so Green Mountain's going to retain their official review.
So the official review was on a potential track cut, and Green Mountain does win the challenge here.
Man, that does not happen very often.
That does not happen very often. So awesome work by the officials to get together and make a very quick decision on that.
And a really strategic move here for Green Mountain to try and get some more points before going into halftime. It's calling official reviews is a art, really.
Right.
You have to know a lot of things, and really you always want to make sure that you're either sending a jammer to the box or releasing your jammer from the box, so that things like that can happen.
So Green Mountain has taken lead jammer for the first time here in about, 8 minutes, I would say.
And I would say at least 6 jams. Curb Stomp is here, gonna be, that could be a low block, but perhaps not. So
Mass Attack regrouping pretty well here.
And Android is now back in. I have to say, I'm pretty sure that Curb Stomp already has all 4 of those points.
I think so too.
It's tough then. Good. Yep. That's what I would have done too. I'm not going to make her fight through them over and over again.
Right. Yeah, exactly. For those, considering she already had those 4 points.
And the box point
and
of
the
jammer.
box point. You don't want to wear out that jammer on the last day, and what will be the last game
for both of these teams.
They get to sit and watch some derby for the rest of the day if they choose to.
58-50 in favor of Green Mountain Roller Derby. Savage Patch Kid does some fancy footwork on the inside line and gets through very quickly for Green Mountain. They're going to contest this momentum.
And that prior jam, Mass Attack, I don't want to forget, nice work. They only let up 5 points on that power start. Things could have gone much worse for them.
And Savage Patch Kid calls it a little late, but does score all 4 points, 2-3 for Mass Attack. I actually didn't see that Mass Attack jammer sneak up, so I'm not surprised that Savage Patch Kid didn't either.
Breaker and Carnage Patch Kid. This is the first time we've seen Breaker today.
You got it. So Green Mountain going to their bench a little bit here. Maybe looking for different styles.
Yeah, something to, it looks like Mass Attack is reading them pretty well, so maybe they're just going to throw a little bit of a different message out there.
That was a pretty sweet move by Carnage Patch Kid to sort of absorb a hit and use it to score those points. That was all 4 for Mass Attack, bringing it to a 5-point game.
Back to 5, Android and Michael Jackson.
Let's see. Do both teams have? Nope. Yes, both teams have all 4 blockers on the track, so the penalty box is empty. And they're both looking to go to the same place. Vajikel Jackson decides to skirt around her own blockers and hit the pack in front.
Android doesn't pick up anything for that. It looked like they both kind of fell at the same time.
Yeah, it's so hard. The job the officials, oh my Lord.
My goodness.
I hope everyone saw that. That was just incredible, that one leg. It was kind of a figure skating
It was
move.
a figure skating move. We'll see that on the instant replay here once the jam is over.
That was lovely. And Vajikel Jackson, after that very sweet move, recycled to the back, looks to the bench, says, I'm going to call it. The official is going to consult with his outside pack ref to find out how many points Vajikel Jackson scored, and it's 2.
We can see in the replay on the backstretch getting spun towards the center but staying on.
And then accelerating out of it. It was, wow. I love footwork. I love good footwork. Impaler Swift on the line versus Snatch McCracken. Snatch McCracken looking to hit the inside and then the out. Oof. Impaler Swift almost was through on the outside, but Savage Patch Kid does recycle her back. Neither. The pack is moving quick.
Yeah, both jammers out quickly. It is Swift who is our lead jammer, and Swift will just call it off.
You know, I think Swift could have outrun Snatch McCracken on that and scored some points.
I think she could have with 4:43 in the first half, and you're only 7 points behind. I think I would go for maybe squeaking in an extra jam rather than burning too much of my clock in a foot race.
Yeah.
I think from the fan in me, though, says keep going.
I know. Take her out. Jammer on jammer. But, yes, that was probably playing it safe, which is the smart thing to do at this point in the bout.
Carnage and curb stomp. We have a heap in turn 1. Everyone's back up quick.
Oh, man, that was a really hard hit to Carnage Patch Kids.
Looks like we have
chest.
Poison Apple headed to the box.
But Carnage Patch Kid is able to resiliently get lead jam even after that hit, and is going to
breeze right through.
Yeah, use the chaos to go through unscathed, which is always nice when you're a jammer to not have to really fight. And here we go.
Gets through, picks up 2, maybe 3 points.
She got
all
all
4.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think she did reestablish position before going down. Right. And that brings it to 2.
And we have a lead change.
We do?
Mass Attack 66, Green Mountain 64.
Yes, we do. I didn't realize that was a 9-point jam. So here we go. This is the first time today that we've seen Killbot jamming for Mass Attack. And I believe that is number 20, Sarah Quill XR. Yeah. So both fresh jammers.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Sarah Quill earlier in the tournament. Was in the jammer rotation regularly. Crawling back in, not sure where she landed, so she's going to play it safe. Her defense is giving her plenty of time to do that.
And in the meantime, that was pretty fancy footwork. I'm a little confused on what happened there with Killbot. It looked to me
it looked like she went across the line.
Looked like she cut the track to me.
by a fair amount.
But if the officials didn't see it, then
Neither
I'm good. Yeah. And another lead change, 69, Green Mountain, 66, Mass Attack. That's 3 points with about 2 minutes left.
Savage and Android.
And it's 3-on-3 in the pack here. both jammers attempting the inside line. Savage Patch Kid then quickly moving to the outside, but knocked out by Death by Sugar and pulled back. It looks like Android is challenging those links and did get a multiplayer block call.
Finally, lead jammer belongs to Carnage Savage.
I know, it's
God,
so hard.
So difficult. I think the same thing has happened to me at another. I feel like they've played against each other somewhere else. I don't know if it was at the tournament down in Worcester.
Well, I know that certainly we at MRD have played against Green Mountain, and so
yeah, that could
might
be
have been
yeah.
Savage Patch Kid and Cabbage Smash Kid.
It's hard to tell after what will be today. We're thinking some more time today is the 200th stream that we've done of a game.
That's
so
impressive.
They're kind of all running together. They were all running together at about 50, but
I feel like I remember when you first started. I can't remember if I was skating then or coaching, but 200, that's fantastic.
It's a lot of games. Some tournaments made that add up pretty quick.
All right, Carnage Patch Kid is your lead jammer. She's having a great game so far.
Fantastic game, and she's got a lot of time to work with here, so she can be pretty methodic. Only 15 seconds left in the period. This will be our final jam of the period. She's got 4 points, and she'll call it unless somebody uses an official review to try to get one more jam in. I don't think anyone would burn a timeout to do that.
No, not right now. I think we're going to be at, I believe we're going to be at 70 to 73, a 3-point game going into the half.
That's a great momentum for Mass Attack to go in with, but as we've seen, Green Mountain has been able to just simply answer everything that Mass Attack has brought to them today. So we're going to go, we'll have a brief intermission, about 14 minutes. You can continue to hang out here and watch the goings-on in the background for the next 15 minutes, but you won't hear us talking. We'll see you in just a little bit. All right, welcome back to Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA Recognized Tournament. We're bringing you the second half of action between Green Mountain Roller Derby, the Grade A Fancies, and Mass Attack Roller Derby. I'm Chad. I'm with B. Hi, B.
Hi, Chad.
So far, we've been treated to some exciting derby first thing in the morning.
Sure have.
It was definitely worth getting up today.
I hear Mass Attack calling. It's showtime, which indeed it nearly is.
Yeah, it really is. Mass Attack has, I think, probably came in as the underdog in this game against Green Mountain. Green Mountain has put up some big jams, but each time Mass Attack has been able to kind of chip away at that. Still, Green Mountain keeping them at bay, and they've not let them get too close, though Mass Attack did take a lead at one point. Green Mountain leading 73-70 right now, and a 3-point lead doesn't mean much.
No, it's really a whisper of a lead. So slight. We have about a minute left at intermission. The teams are doing their cheers.
Yeah. Do you just want to throw out there, anyone, if you're watching today and you want to donate towards the data costs, we want to make sure we always do a free stream whenever possible, which is generally what we've always done. We want to continue to do that. If you want to throw a few bucks, there's a GoFundMe. I think there's a link up in the comments. Feel free. If not, that's totally fine too. Hang out with us today. Watch a bunch of derby. We got 3 more games to go today.
It's an exciting weekend here in Maine. Rock Coast Rollers always doing an amazing job throwing this tournament.
Yeah. Yep, they really have. It's been a very smooth tournament, and they've brought in, of course, the Northeast region has, in my opinion, some of the best non-skating officials and folks to do oversight. We got scoreboard keepers that are doing a great job.
Off and secures lead for Mass Attack.
Got a half a track length. She's got a couple of easier points. She's through. She'll call it. Nice and safe.
I think she had all 4. I really
looks like there may be only 3.
Okay.
3 held up. Well, it's a tie game. I mean, that's still pretty good.
I think I'd rather it even be a tie.
Yeah, I think so. The fan in me says let's have a tie. And
I hope there are several more ties throughout this game.
Well, there's a good chance of it.
All right.
Savage Patch Kid and Android.
Yep, familiar in the jammer rotation from both teams here. It's a 3-on-2 pack advantage for Mass Attack.
Yeah, Android getting tangled up there with Vajical Jackson and 20. I think 20 is 20's Sarah Quill.
And Vajical Jackson's footwork is just really it's stopping Android from being able to move at all.
And a track cut called on Savage Patch Kid.
So let's see. Looks like there is one Mass Attack blocker playing offense up there for Android, who is still having a hard time with that Green Mountain wall.
Yeah, Android started out with only 2 blockers, 2 folks that sometimes we actually see them quite often jamming, and they were able to hold off long enough till they sprung the rest of their pals from the box. So here we see Android now only just making her scoring pass at 105 in the jam.
Yeah, I would probably have called it right there and held Savage Patch Kid in the box, I think. But it looks like Mass Attack is going to run it, and well, that's 5 points right there on the board. Savage Patch Kid still on an initial pass. Gonna excel around the outside, is able to do so, and then use her own teammate to whip through that pack. Android still struggling up against Vajical Jackson.
And she'll just call it off.
Yeah. Vajical Jackson had Android's number in that jam.
She was all over her. I wonder if we'll see any less jamming from Vajical Jackson if she's going to be out there blocking. But maybe she just says, nah, put me in. It's the last game. I'll use all the energies.
All the energies. That was a 7-0 jam for Mass Attack, bringing them up to 80 points. It's a 7-point game.
Timeout called by Green Mountain.
Yeah. It's going to be an official review, actually.
Oh, I wonder if they're going to review. I don't think there was a track cut at the end here, but there might have been something. Maybe Vajaco Jackson thinks that there might have been something there when she drew back the jammer.
Android, yeah. I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything there, so we'll find out what they're chatting about.
Meanwhile, Green Mountain is in a little huddle there, and so is Mass Attack, talking about what they want to do next.
Talking about those other kids out on the track.
Let's see. So again, we've seen a little bit of a shift in the strategy that Mass Attack used yesterday and the day before. They are running shorter jams, and it's paying off so far, because right now they are in the lead by 7.
Yeah, it's been the most balanced game we've seen Mass Attack play all weekend for sure.
You know, it's also a very calm game, it feels like. It's not super chaotic.
Yeah, there's some chaos in that they're exhausted and they're tired, and sometimes coming out of turn 1 you just don't have as much strength in your legs as you might like. But everyone's been very cool about being out on the track and not getting too excited, not getting too rattled or nervous.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're tired too, your body sort of emits those big sweeping hits.
Right.
And does more of that positional blocking, which can be even more effective sometimes than those big sweeping hits. We're still waiting to hear on what that official review was.
I think they're probably talking about me.
I think you're probably right. I think that maybe you're going to get an expulsion, Chad.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
that's
for
a goal. That could be a goal for me. It's been 200 games. Maybe I celebrate by becoming the first broadcaster to be expulsed.
All right, we have Impale Her Swift jamming here for Mass Attack, and it looks like Curb Stomp for Green Mountain Roller Derby.
So Black was looking for an additional few points to be added that they believed were picked up before going to the box on that initial pass, but it was not a completed initial pass, so there will be no points awarded, and they will lose their official review.
And I have to say, if it weren't for that game, that 1-point game that happened Friday night,
yes,
I would say I'm not sure if I would have used that for an official review, but sometimes it really does come down to 1 point. And with this game so far, it very well could.
It very well could, and we have Mass Attack looking to try to extend the lead. I think 7 points is the most they have led by today, or pretty close to it.
Impale Her Swift getting a multiplayer called on one of the Green Mountain blockers. Impale Her Swift is our lead jammer. 5-0 on that one. So that is the first time I think that Mass Attack is leading by more than 10.
I think so, yeah. That's.
So we'll see what Green Mountain does here to try and counter it. They've got on the line 369 who Snatch McCracken. That's right. And Carnage Patch Kid, of course, for Mass Attack. They really do have that tight 3 jammer rotation Mass Attack does. Snatch
able to work that outside line is our lead jammer.
Track cut on Carnage Patch Kid.
So there's
this is a good opportunity.
We'll see that lead potentially evaporate.
Yep.
Green Mountain comes through.
This is exactly what Green Mountain needed here to keep this a very close bout. They're going to get some offense there.
Take the lead back. Not quite yet.
It was really nice offense by Green Mountain to get their jammer through pretty much untouched. And now, wow. Betty Bloodbath comes in with some vengeance there.
There's 5 more.
15-point jam so far for Green Mountain, and they have overtaken the lead once again.
Yeah, McCracken came out with a job to do and did it exceptionally well. 15-0 on that. Green Mountain with the lead again, 3 points. We've seen a 3-point lead doesn't mean much. In fact, we saw a 20-point lead or more that didn't mean much earlier when Mass Attack brought themselves back into this game.
Savage Patch Kid giving a big high five there to Android. Savage Patch Kid generally just has a very good attitude, I've noticed.
These two teams in the proximity of where they're at, I'm sure they have run across each other in various...
All us New England
we all
area.
Yeah, we're all fairly familiar.
And it's interesting, you know, because for me, who is a coach of Maine Roller Derby Port Authorities, it's unfortunate because we can't play a lot of these teams right now in sanctioned gameplay because of just how the ranking system works. So what we end up doing is doing a lot of scrimmaging.
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel so thankful to have such a great New England community that teams are willing and ready to come up and scrimmage us, and
yeah,
it's great.
So what's coming up for games with Maine Roller Derby this year?
Well, we are headed on Thursday to Toronto for Put Up Your Toques, which is formerly known as Beaver Fever.
Yep.
And we have 3 games scheduled, 3 sanctioned games, all really close in ranking. So
fantastic.
We have a big weekend coming up. Let's see, who is that? That is Android, of course. Android, of course, is our lead jammer for Mass Attack. And did we miss something? Is there a... Oh, yep, Savage Patch Kid went to the box as a jammer for Green Mountain, which gives Mass Attack a chance to make up some of those points. But Green Mountain is giving Android the business.
Yeah, that's number 9, Busty Breaker, alongside 23, Fox.
That was really a heads-up move, even though it's kind of heartbreaking for Android. Didn't want to cut the tracks or cycled herself back just to ensure that.
That's a fantastic penalty kill.
Yes, indeed. And Android, Savage Patch must be on her initial, but didn't like that by Torpedo. Just a little bit of a chest hit there, which actually is totally legal. And man, Android has been stuck in this pack for
that's gotta be
a while.
Be exhausting and heartbreaking, and she'll call it off.
She does get all 4 points, though. That is a bit of a consolation here, and a
lead change.
2 points. 2 points between these two teams with about 22 minutes left in this half, and consequently the game. Got some taping going on the track here. The taping can't get done quite before the 5 seconds is over. The folks here who have volunteered for Rock Coast have just done a really phenomenal job. We have Killbot on the line. I would say that they use Killbot probably like 2 or 3 jams a half.
Yep. Yeah. But out there as a blocker very often.
Yes. And I have so much respect for the folks who can just go back and forth between jamming and blocking. It really is 2 different parts of your brain that you have to activate. I call it the jammer magic eye, where you have to see your own players and not the opposing players, because if you only see the opposing players, you're just going to get stuck on them.
Yeah, Killbot able to break through after taking a few spills with the pack on turn 1 and turn 2.
Nice job by Killbot there.
Picked up 4 and we'll call it. Nice, clean, successful jam.
It's a timeout here for Mass Attack, maybe to take a breather. So with those 4 points added to Mass Attack's score there at 94 to Green Mountain's 88, it's a team timeout for Mass Attack. And what I see on the track right now is that Green Mountain is going to put Vijayal Jackson in here to jam.
Yeah.
Right quick.
Yeah, Vijayal Jackson, someone who can quickly erase a fairly significant lead if given the opportunity, but we've seen Mass Attack successfully block Vijayal Jackson as well. So there's no guarantees.
Certainly not, and certainly not in a 6-point game. All right, that is the roundup whistle. So Green Mountain is at a blocker disadvantage here with 2 on the track, 2 in the box.
Mass Attack sending up a new jammer, Giatina.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen her at all this weekend.
I can't say that I have.
And there goes Vijayal on the inside line. Well, that's a good way to start your tournament weekend there for, what's her name again? Giatina.
So holding Jackson to 3 points. That's a win right there.
Yes. I wonder if Giatina is a newer skater, but did quite a nice job getting out right behind Vijayal Jackson.
Yeah, got out right behind, closed the gap quick enough that Jackson felt the pressure.
Sarah Quill, XR, on the line for Green Mountain, and Android for Mass Attack. What I'm noticing here is that Green Mountain just has a really deep jammer bench.
They really do. Android ducked down around turn 1, is out cleanly. We may see a penalty here. It looked like a forearm got up into a face.
Yeah, definitely a high block there. And, yep, Android gets a quick 4, actually only 3, and calls it. No, all 4. Sometimes I can't see. Now I know why they put those little things on their fingers.
Yeah, a little bit more definition.
91 Green Mountain to 98. That's 7 points between these two teams with about 19 and a half minutes left.
Carnage Patch Kid.
Snatch McCracken.
Snatch McCracken.
Pack gets sped up a little bit here. Snatch McCracken is drawn out of bounds by Killbot, which gives Carnage Patch Kid enough time to break through and get lead. Mass Attack definitely showing some chops here, getting lead a couple times in a row. But Green Mountain holding them pretty much to one scoring pass.
One opportunity per jam. Mass is playing it very safe.
And you know, this is something I talk to my team a lot about, is that we need to do a better job of getting multiple scoring passes, because what you see in the modern sort of incarnation of roller derby is that as soon as that jammer gets out, the blockers are going to fall back and play offense. And so as soon as offense is played on us, right, that is a great opportunity for the jammer to get out.
Right.
That's what offense is for.
Yeah.
And so it's become harder and harder to get those multiple scoring passes, but a good goal. And so in this case, yeah, if I was Green Mountain, I would be congratulating my team on only letting them get one pass.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you've got the tournament coming up soon. That's put on by Toronto Roller Derby, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you are watching at home, that's almost always streamed.
Yes.
They
Coming up this weekend,
Yeah,
Friday,
they do
Saturday, Sunday.
There'll be a lot of coverage of that tournament, so be sure to tune in for that.
All right, Vajikel Jackson. And again, that's Guillotina.
Guillotina again. Up against Vajikel Jackson. It's the same matchup we saw last time.
Yep. And Vajikel Jackson out first. Let's see what Vajikel Jackson can do here as far as points. Going to use one of her own blockers to get through part of the pack at least.
Oh,
that was
like
an intense hit.
Vajikel Jackson might
They
have
need
got
to
knocked
call
a
that.
little bit. It will be called. We'll take a look at our bracket here while we tend to things on the track.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about how we got here. We opened the weekend up with Texas. Yeah, we opened it up with the team from Texas over Green Mountain, and it was a big win, 240-77. Rockin' City, a phenomenal team. So if you have a chance to you can hang around and watch that championship today. Rockin' City will take on State College, who was also very dominant. State College over Granite State, and then over Lehigh Valley to get to the championship game. We'll have, after this game, Rock Coast versus Lehigh Valley. Is that after this one, or we have one more after that?
I think Rock Coast plays at 2.
Yeah, Rock Coast is at 2. It's going to be the Consolation Championship with Bay State and Granite State. Another all-New England treat for you. Yesterday we saw New Hampshire's junior team take on Fredericton. Fredericton took the win in that. That was the most inspiring derby bout I've seen in a long time.
I can't even tell you. Like, it's just fantastic. Derby is a really complicated sport, and to see like kids from 5 years old even to 14 years old like understanding the rules and the positions.
Yeah, and knew exactly what was going on.
So awesome. I feel so proud to be part of roller derby in general. I think it's really wonderful that they're at junior level playing with all genders together. I think that maybe what we have going on here is that potentially they may have been talking about an egregious.
Yeah, doesn't look like
anyone's
leaving.
Leaving.
There. We do have one player in the box.
So here we go, Savage Patch Kid and Android facing off as we get back to things here. 102 for Mass Attack and 95 for Green Mountain.
And there was a discussion afterwards with the officials whether that was something that was an expulsion worthy or not, and they decided it was a rough hit, but it was not something that egregious.
And so Savage Patch Kid is lead. Yep, and smartly calls it off because Android had broken the pack. Yeah, it's when you talk about egregious in roller derby, it has to be really purposeful.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't. That's why you don't see it very often. Is everyone in roller derby understands? We all have to go to work tomorrow. You know?
Yes.
We're here to win, and we want to play hard. But there's just you don't see a lot of ill will or animosity or that level of aggressiveness.
Oh, man. Carnage Patch Kid, I just can't say enough about this bout. Really going every third as jammer and doing a really great job for Mass Attack Roller Derby. Keeping them in this game.
Quick call off. I'm thinking 3 points for that.
Looks like you might be right, and you are.
Yeah.
We have about 16 or so minutes left in this particular matchup. There's 10 points between these teams currently.
It's very often when we look at 16 points left in a game, sometimes we find ourselves in the comfort we can talk about who we know will win this game. It becomes pretty obvious, you know,
yes.
There's a 50-point differential, maybe even more than that. So we talk about what the other ramifications of the game are.
Correct.
But not today, my goodness. 15 minutes feels like an eternity when you have only a 10-point separation.
Right, trading back and forth. And it doesn't negate that those other things are all still on the line, because this is a WFTDA matchup here for sanctioning and ranking points.
We've seen this is the third jam now for Guillotina, and Guillotina has now broken out and is our lead jammer and is on a scoring run right now.
Is Savage Patch Kid on an initial still?
I think Savage is on the initial still.
Savage is looking a little gassed here, and I would be too, I have to say. It gets really hard to keep on going up against those walls without wanting to go to the in or the out.
Yeah.
Nice. That was a star pass to mule kick for Green Mountain.
So we'll see. Guillotina calls it off. She hears the bench.
I do think from the response that Guillotina is probably playing one of her first bouts
here. I would say so, and you know what? I'm excited to see Mass Attack put somebody in this situation. You're so close.
I do too.
You're so close, and you put a lot of faith, trust, and confidence. You build up your team member by doing that, and you provide them with high-level experience. And this is, I'm sure.
And those are the future. That's the future.
And I'm sure Guillotina is somebody that they're working on to groom in to be a regular jammer.
Yes. Curb stomp. Able to power through the wall. Android getting tied up here at turn 3. Still, oh man, number 20, Sarah Quill XR, giving Curb Stomp the opportunity here to score all 4. I can't tell if it's 4 or 5 here.
I think it's 4. Sarah Quill, another skater who is just so great on jammer or blocker.
Double duty.
And here is Vajikel Jackson. So glad to see Jackson back out on the line after having taken a pretty rough connection earlier on.
And both teams, I think, have all 4 blockers on the track, and both teams have their jammers. And Pale Swift is going to try and use one of her blockers to get lead, and does not. Vajikel Jackson, of course, through first. And this could be, they may run it. Okay.
Nope, it's gonna a quick hop on the apex.
That was pretty, huh?
Yeah, it looked fantastic.
7-point game here. I thought they might have run it because Vajikel got through so easily.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We just talked about this. Sarah Quill XR is going to jam now. Go back and forth between that jammer and blocker role. Of course, Carnage Patch Kid is really just in that jammer role over and over again.
Over and over. There's Sarah Quill out. Skirts around the backside of, or the front really, of turn 1. Able to make it past Pixie Sticks.
Yeah, depending on what Green Mountain wants to do here, this is going to bring it closer.
Yeah, she went after the 2 points that were in the back.
Yep, didn't get any,
Didn't get any.
But, again, there is that momentum of getting lead and holding the other team to nothing. And
especially when you have, that was Mass Attack put up. We had, I missed who that was. I forgot her name for Mass Attack.
I can't read your mind right now.
I know. It was Carnage. And if you can take a productive jammer out, and so they aren't scoring points, they've got to wait around again before they can come back out.
Busty Breaker has donned the star here, I believe, for the first time tonight for Green Mountain, or maybe the second, and does have lead jammer. This could potentially be a lead change jam here, Chad. There's 5 right there.
Winds through, I'll say fairly easy, but Death by Sugar did as much as she could to try to push her off the infield.
A pass to Killbot. I think Green Mountain is going to go for the lead change here. That's 1. That's 2.
There it is.
I don't know. We'll see. It might be a tie game. We'll see what they hold up for Killbot. Lead change.
Another lead change.
Backed 1. Oh, a 1 point.
1 point.
And remember, when I questioned that, official review, here's when you see it. Sometimes 1 point really matters. It's always my favorite when it's 111. That is my roller derby number.
Oh, wonderful. I wondered how high of a scoring game we would get today. And, really we're looking at maybe having, if we're lucky, 4 or 5 jams left.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if we broke the 150 mark on either team.
Here we go.
So here's Green Mountain again.
Snatch McCracken.
Yep. Been very productive today, both blocker and jamming.
Impaler Swift has just gone to the box. I didn't see what the call was, but this is a huge opportunity here for Green Mountain. But what a phenomenal.
It was McCracken earlier today who put up a 15-point unanswered jam.
That was a huge blocker play right there by Mass Attack to pull Snatch McCracken all the way back.
And Snatch is going to call it off in favor of freezing the jammer.
I think that was smart. Yep, because she had all 5 of those points already. Might as well start on a power start.
And Mass Attack feels, I'm sure, fortunate to get out of that with only a 5-point loss.
117 for Green Mountain and 111 with 8:45 left in this bout. Savage Patch Kid is the jammer for Green Mountain.
Swift back out on the track, stays on the right side of the tape. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah, that was no, she did. She definitely didn't. And when your body is tired, you're just more apt to take those risks with the track cuts, rather than the exhaustion of recycling all the way back. Savage Patch Kid, lead jam. Green Mountain is going to play some offense here.
And Savage came in very casually. There wasn't a lot of, she didn't look like she was, overexcited about coming in and coming in recklessly. She came through and really lined everybody up.
On the other hand, Impaler Swift did not come in lightly. That's Torpedo, I believe. The smile on her face tells me maybe it was worth it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it was worth it, or she knows
it was
definitely her. Yeah. So 11 points for Green Mountain, 122 to 111.
Ooh, those are nice numbers.
Vajayko Jackson and Carnage Patch Kid. We've been talking about them all day, and we've been talking about them all weekend. So we'll see what D-Block and Goldie are able to do to hold her back, and it's not much. Vajayko Jackson is our lead jammer.
I might, at this point, consider, if I was Mass Attack, calling a timeout and regrouping my team for these last 7 minutes, giving them a breather, re-firing them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Vajayko Jackson just puts up another 3 points. So it's still fairly close, but we're down to having only probably 3 jams.
Yeah. But, you know, everybody coaches different, and maybe there's something else in the pocket of Mass Attack here.
Android and Breaker.
Busty Breaker. Again, here for Green Mountain. We've seen them roll real deep on the bench with jammers.
Android, did she get through cleanly? She did. Android for Mass Attack is our lead jammer.
So as we talked about earlier, right now, Mass Attack really needs to hold for more than one pass.
And
if they can.
Android does have a teammate to go through with her here, so that may be of some help, although Green Mountain was right there to hold her back. Finally now, Breaker is through.
I would say, yeah, call
Android
that.
will call it. Let's see if we get a timeout here to stop the clock yet.
Nope, not seeming like it. 10
All right.
points, still nothing. Impaler Swift headed back to the track against Curb Stomp. 5.5 minutes left in this very close bout.
We have one Green Mountain blocker in the penalty box.
I really don't know who's going to take this one.
Yeah, and it is the pivot that is in the penalty box right now. So
that's a big lead.
That is a big lead for Green Mountain.
Yep. Impaler Swift still trying to get through that Green Mountain wall. Curb Stomp with a sweet duck move.
Does get knocked out, but the pack was moved ahead quite quickly, so she didn't get recycled back much. She'll pick up 5.
And I see the officials giving the signal that the star has been passed.
Yeah, and Raging Grace now is our jammer. D-block heads to the box.
I think Green Mountain's going to do some clock management here and probably be okay with trading points.
I think so. Yeah, with 4:20 left on the clock.
So, right at this point, you're really looking
a 19-point lead.
You're really looking for a penalty on a jammer. And if you're Green Mountain, you're saying just play it cool, it cool, don't go to the box as the jammer. Timeout Green Mountain, interesting. I wonder what Mass Attack is saving their timeouts for.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're going to try to squeeze in an extra jam.
Didn't they do that yesterday?
They did. They used an official review.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, it was hard to keep track. It wasn't. It was not Mass Attack. Because Mass Attack played long at the end of theirs. It was our last game last night where they used an official review super late.
Oh yeah. That was Lehigh Valley versus State College.
State College. Yep.
Really good game there. 137 to 119, a 12-4 jam for Green Mountain there.
Both teams will start with a player in the box this jam. Green Mountain will, by no surprise, they're going to send Snatch McCracken, but we also have a Jekyll Jackson, though she doesn't have the pivot, which is I guess that's a little strange to me.
The pivot's in the box.
The pivot is in the box. I would think they might save Jackson for a jam. I mean, maybe she'll be fine coming in to jam after having just been out there to block.
I hear you on that, and agree. She's who I would want on the track as we get to these last couple jams. We're in an official timeout here, getting the track taped up. All right, Snatch McCrap. Not Snatch McCracken.
McCracken looked just absolutely ready to go.
That's big. That's big here for Carnage Patch Kid, and I can't say I'm surprised at
Yeah.
all.
I wonder how long of a jam Carnage will run, whether she'll go for points and call it to try to save some more time. She doesn't have much time now as McCracken is right there.
And she
needs
doesn't
to call
hear
it
her
off.
coaches. She doesn't hear
And
her
McCracken,
coaches.
that's a huge set of points for McCracken. Huge.
And we see some celebration there from Green Mountain. They held, even though she was lead McCracken to, Carnage Patch Kid to none. And McCracken snuck in for 3. 140 to 119, that's 21 points. It's not impossible.
Android and Cabbage.
Yep, and Savage Patch Kid here. It's not totally do or die with who gets lead here, but it is really important. And it is Savage Patch Kid. So Green Mountain controls the clock here. And the lead, should be said. Android's just still trying really hard, and she is through. Savage Patch Kid hit hard to the outside.
We'll call it. Savage picks up 3 more points. And as we wind down to 2:10 on the clock, those could be 3 huge points.
Yep. And we do see Mass Attack now calling a timeout to stop that clock at 2:10 and perhaps discuss what to do here in these last, maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 jams.
1 or 2 jams. I think we can get, I think we'll see 2 jams for sure. I mean, we
Yep.
with 2:10 on the game clock, we could go 1 full jam, and then there's plenty of time to call a timeout.
That's right.
To get 1 more in. So Mass Attack, though, in order to make that strategy work for them, they're going to have to get lead now, get points. There's Green Mountain doesn't have the ability to stop the clock, and I don't know that they necessarily would want to. Mass Attack has 2 timeouts. They've just used 1, so there'll be 1 timeout in an official review. Depending on how confident they felt, they could go out, score, call another timeout. And if they wanted to try to eke out that 2:12 into maybe 3 jams, it probably could be done. I just think it's a little hard to do that against Green Mountain.
Yeah. And as we predicted, Green Mountain sends Vajikel Jackson to the line, but
Killbot is through. Vajikel Jackson's still tied up for the time being.
So,
though for not long, I don't think.
Well, we'll see. Seconds count in this scenario, right? Every second that they hold Vajikel Jackson back is an opportunity to score points. They're going to say call it, though.
So I don't know what we got for points. 2 points for Mass Attack. They
needed a little more than that.
They needed a little more than that. They won't use a timeout right now. They'll just.
Yep. I mean, not a worst case scenario there, but not a best case scenario either. Curb Stomp is gonna.
Oh yeah, no. I was supposed to say. For a second, I thought maybe they did use a timeout, but no. There's a timeout being called.
There is. Indeed.
They did use another timeout.
Yeah.
It's just not showing on the scoreboard yet that they're using it.
And it's interesting too that they did use a timeout, but they're not gathered as a team. So that leads me to believe that they have a plan.
Yeah, it seems like they're more just hanging out with Green Mountain on the track, and
which is nice to see.
Nice to see, yeah, just enjoying each other's company out there.
I think that Mass Attack has definitely made the right call here, sending Carnage Patch Kid to the track on this particular jam. There it is. both jammers here need to be really conscientious not to get a penalty.
Yeah, a penalty either way. And here we have
Curb stomp.
Curb stomp is our lead jammer. So now is a game of patience.
That's right.
There's more on the jam clock than there is in the period. So if they can play a very safe long game.
That was a rough fall on number 10. I'm worried a little bit that they might have hit their head.
Oh, a penalty picked up by Green Mountain.
This is just what we were talking about. I'm not sure why Mass is holding back. They need 20 points.
They need 20 points. They need to move quickly. Carnage does not have a whole lot of time.
But we're going to run with the jam clock at 1:08 here. That's 5 points there. But wasting precious seconds.
There are.
Here.
It's a good kill here for Green Mountain.
Really?
I think it'll be awful hard to hold Curb Stomp to no points here.
Yeah, Mass Attack really has to do that.
And she's already picked up a few.
But that is an acceleration around the track. Carnage Patch Kid needs to hustle right here with 30 seconds. I don't know if it's possible.
And there's no clock control. She can't stop to use that official review for anything.
Nope.
So she's through for 5 more points.
I don't know. They're celebrating here, but I'm not convinced.
With 13 seconds.
But what a phenomenal final jam here.
Great final jam and a really fun finish.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And Curb Stomp is through finally and picks up 4 points. And that's going to be the end.
Unofficial final here is 151 to 137. What a great way to end that bout.
Yeah, it really was. It was nice to see. It was it came down to just playing for 2 minutes.
And, you know, as we talked about a little bit earlier, they are playing for ranking points. So that last jam, even if it didn't get the win, certainly closes
helps.
The gap. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so unofficial score, 151 Green Mountain, Mass Attack 137. I don't suspect that we're going to see any huge changes in that score, so we'll go ahead and end our stream. Be sure to tune in shortly here. We'll have our consolation champion, Bay State and Granite State. That's going to happen at 12 o'clock. So roughly 20 minutes from now, we'll be back. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
I really had a great time with you today, and I'm sure we'll do it again at some point.
I hope so. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.